What's happening with all my people out there in the free world today, man? Welcome back to the Swing Low Podcast Show, DUROC CRIP. Hey, man, look, we're going to jump right into this content. You know what I mean? I don't want to hold y'all up and have y'all sitting around here too long. You know what I mean? I know people got things to do throughout their day, but thank you all for joining me at this round table. You know what I mean? But look, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this thing, man. I did a show the other day, you know what I'm saying, about my experience that I had with the rapper X-Rated from Sacramento, California, right? And I gave to that story the best to my recollect on the things that transpired at that time. You know what I mean? But really, I did not give everything because, like I told y'all, me and him was together for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And within that time of us being together, a lot of different things end up transpiring. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was a real quick, fast thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I say all that to say this. He responded to that show that I did. You know what I mean? He left a comment under that show. Okay, so y'all can go check that out. You know what I'm saying? And you'll probably get a better idea from his response to that on why I'm choosing to respond to what he put in the comments. All right. Now, this gonna be my last time even discussing this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't need to be drawn out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I gave back to the best of my recollection. You know what I'm saying? But in his response, he did remind me of a couple of things. But like I said, I was given the testimony about that time. You know what I'm saying? In a time period of 1997 to somewhere in 1998 of me and him being together. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as anything else goes after that, you know what I'm saying, that transpired with that man, you know, hey, whenever he went the route that he did, I can't give you no direct time period on when that happened. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't saying that he went directly like right after me and him was together. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you a testimony of when me and him was together. Anything after that, you got to remember, man, I ain't seen the dude since the last time I had went to the hole when I got caught with all the knives in my cell. But anyway, X-rated get to Salinas Valley State Prison C Yard, right? As he said, he did end up in the cell with the homie Big Country from 98 Main Street Mafia Crip, right? I believe that was his first cellie when he got there, right? That's who X-rated was in the cell with. I was in a whole different building. We're on the same yard, just different buildings. I'm in a whole different building in the cell with Lil D-Dog from 9-4 Hoover, right? That was my cellie at that time when X-rated got there. Okay, so bam. Now, to give y'all a better description on me and X-Rated's relationship, what it ended up becoming at that time, you know what I'm saying? In his response that he left in the comment, he said he viewed me as a brother, right? And how we had each other's back, you know what I'm saying? And how he had all this respect for me and this and that, you know what I'm saying? And how he felt like he was not under anybody's wing. Okay, well, let me get into the wing part of you not being up under nobody's wing. Okay. When you first got to that prison, bro, and me and you became acquainted with each other, yes, A Love from Six Deuce Diamond was there, and Dot Dog from Northside Gangster was there. It was only you three. It was only you three dudes from Northern California on that yard at that time. Because guess why? Because before you got there, your homeboys was getting robbed and chased off the yard, bro. You know what I'm saying? And while all that was going on, A Love and Dot Dog was there on that yard. Okay? They was there on that yard. I specifically remember The day when they chased your homeboy, I think his name was Scooby. I believe that was his name, Scooby. Tall, skinny dude, had long hair then, right? He used to be one of the dudes that had kept the weed. He kept the sack. You know what I'm saying? But see, where he messed up at was getting involved with all these different keyways. You know what I'm saying? From everywhere, all over LA. You know what I'm saying? And he fell in the company of some very, very serious, intense dudes that wasn't playing, that ended up extorting him, making him pay to stay on their yard because they seen something about his character that they felt was boo-boo. You feel me? So eventually I remember us being on the yard that day. He got robbed. They jumped on him, stabbed him, and chased him across the yard. I ain't never seen nobody run that fast. And if you remember how that yard was X-rated, a 180 maximum security level 4 prison yard. It's a wall all around the whole entire yard. You can't see nothing but the sky and the police walking in the gun rails, right? It's one way, well, no, it's two ways. But the main route on getting off that yard, you got to go through a gate that the police in the tower got to open, right? And that day when your homie was getting chased by them two Crips, right? They was closing that gate and it got probably about that much. And he made it through that. He made it through that tight little space because he feared for his life so bad. You feel me? And that's a fact. Your homies was getting, the ones that was there, they had got ran off the yard, bro. You came right after that happened to the dude Scooby. You came right after that. And the only ones, as a matter of fact, it was another dude there from North Highlands. The big fat dude. You remember him? You remember me pointing because you wanted to know who was all there from Sacramento when that happened to your homeboy, right? And all the other Northern Crips. You wanted to know. So I found out that the dude was from North Highlands, the big fat dude. You remember when we pushed up on him? You know what I'm saying? And you got at him raw. You got at him raw and called him a buster and all that because he was there when that happened to your homeboys. You know what I'm saying? And didn't do nothing to bust a grape. And he was a buster. You feel me? And you did push up on him and you know, told him keep sack out his mouth and all that. I remember that. I was right there by your side. Okay? Now, as far as A Love and Dot Dog go, come on, man. Dot Dog was a medication head, bro. You know this. He was highly off of meds, bro. You feel me? Stressed out over his baby mamas, and he was off the meds. So he wasn't in his right frame of mind like that. A Love was just there. You know what I'm saying? So when you got there and me and you became as tight as we did, I got at my homeboys and basically asked them, like, bro, can we bring these dudes into the fold? Because, you know, it's just a handful of them. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they represent the valley like we do. So let's connect with them on some valley shit. Of course, they didn't want to do it, but they was like, you know what? Fuck it. And X-rated, you was right. You was right, bro, when you said that you made sure that my homies ate like yours did. You did that. You did that. You was sending money to all the homies' books to go to the store. Me and your cell, our cell had so much stuff in it, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But I had my own stuff because I had my woman, you know what I'm saying, at that time, doing what she was supposed to do as my woman. So I was straight. But you did contribute, you know, to the cause like that. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't just do that because you had all that love and respect for me that you said you got, right? You did that because we ended up becoming one. Which means, yeah, you got taken under the wing. Did anybody even attempt to try to do anything to you when you was around us? Oh, and let's not forget that day when they moved me and you to the upper side of the yard. I think it was 7 to 8 block. Remember, my big homie Dirt, OG Dirt, was downstairs from us. We was upstairs. But when they moved us over there to that side of the yard, I specifically remember a couple of, it was probably like 7 to 8 Sacramento down moves out on the yard one day, and us being out there, and we see them over there, like one of them running his mouth, and you saying, I know him. I was in the county jail with him. He's a buster and this and that and blah, blah, blah. He over there trying to pump them up. And me and my homie LJ ended up approaching them. It was me, LJ, the homie Bobcat from Trey 57, you, and probably one or two more of my homies. Not yours, mine's. Remember, it was only 3 of y'all there. Well, 4 including the fat buster from North Highlands. You feel me? But me and mine's pushed up on them on your behalf because you was with us. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to make it seem like when you got there, you know what I'm saying, A-Love and Dot Dog was some tag team duo force on their yard, because they wasn't. Remember, they was there when your homie got chased off the yard and did nothing. You feel me? And we all sat on the yard and watched that. And when you got to that yard, that was one of the first things I told you that happened. When you wanted to know who was all there from Sacramento and Northern Cali and the Central Valley. Keep it real. You feel me? So don't try to make it seem like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you had that support system to keep you safe on that C yard when you got there, because you didn't. They allowed your homeboy to get chased off the yard. That's a fact. Anybody that was in Salinas Valley State Prison in 1997 on that C yard, when bro from Gordon Block got chased off the yard by them Crips, they did him bad. And he ran for his life. Luckily, he made it through that gate while it was closing. It was like he was a rat. You know, rats can squeeze through tight places and, you know, break bones. I don't even think rats got bones. You know what I'm saying? That nigga didn't look like he had no bones in his body the way he squeezed through that tight little space. Why the door was closing. Tall nigga, fast. You feel me? You knew about that when you got to that yard, bro. Made you very aware of that. So when the dude Yayo was running his mouth, you know what I'm saying, going back telling the damn moves that he had just got at you and checked you and did this and did that, who was the ones that pushed up on them? It wasn't A-Love and Dot Dog, my nigga. It was the DUROCs, the SGVs. Point blank period. And yeah, you know, you also said, you know, you spoke how you felt, you know, we you know, was brothers, and you know what I'm saying. I thought the same thing. I specifically remember one day us being in the cell one day chilling, and this was during the time when you had drew up all the contracts. You know what I'm saying, for me and and you telling me, you know what I'm saying, why. You know, you doing the contracts, man, on Garden Block Crip, on 24th Street, Garden Block Crip. Cue ball, rest in peace. You're gonna be receiving checks from Black Market, nigga, outside of these contracts, just for being a real nigga. You're gonna always receive checks from me. You know what I'm saying? Outside these fuck these contracts, just on some Crip shit. You said that to me, bro. You feel me? And none of that has ever manifested. None of that has ever manifested, my nigga. You tell war stories about me to the people that you around. That's interesting to know. That's what you said in your comment, You know what I'm saying? You speak, you have this respect for me and you speak highly of me, you know what I'm saying, when you trade in war stories. But at the same token, you put this on your hood and on your dead homie, and none of that has surfaced, came to surface. None of it. Like I said in the last video that I made, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? The very last time I seen you was that day on the yard. Matter of fact, the very last time I seen you, you came out to the yard. I made my way over there. I'm standing out there with Shaka Loke now, waiting on you to come out the building. You come out, you got that the you was doing the Vibe magazine interview. You know what I'm saying? And you had brought out like all the little questions and shit that they was gonna be asking you in the interview. And me and you standing there talking about it, and then you telling me, and you had also brought out the contract that the nigga Cedric had sent to you and that you wasn't happy with. You was not happy about the contract. So you was telling me about that, how you was gonna change this and change that, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, come on, bro. That was the very last time I seen. Then I went to the hole. I got caught with all those knives in my cell and went to the hole. You know what I'm saying? So from that point on, from then on, that happened in what, 98. I go to the hole. That happened in 98. You end up going to the A yard after that. I said that. I never said you went SNY after me and you were cellies. I never said that. You feel me? What I did say, what I did put on the thumbnail is we were cellies before you went PC. That's open-ended. Like I didn't say you went directly after me and you were cellies. And when it comes to that right there, bro, you went on to describe a number of things and events that you went through, going from prison to prison, and you saying people dropping kites on you, and you know what I'm saying, involving you in situations that you had nothing to do with and all this and that, right? You also described that they moved you to Mill Creek or somewhere where where your homies was at, and they end up shipping them out and leaving you there, and they flipped the yard and turned it to a 50-50. You said that there was no SNY before 2001. Bro, listen, you do remember I've been doing prison time longer than you, right? You do remember that. Okay. So I remember my first time coming to prison in 1991. There always been a PC yard, but back then there was only one prison and one yard that was considered to be PC out of all California, and that was in Tehachapi State Prison. And then as years went on, it just became more and more bigger, to the point now there's more SNYs than it is general population. Okay. But let me address this thing, because I don't want the public to get a misconception about this SNY thing that you are trying to say didn't exist until 2001, because that's false. There's always been it ain't been labeled SNY, but there's always been a PC yard. We all know what protective custody means. When you go to jail, you're separated from the general population. And let me make something clear when it comes to that, bro. Because you said you was on the yard when they flipped it, and you stayed there when they flipped it and made it SNY. Okay, well, legally, and I need people to do the research on this. If you can't take my word for it, and believe me, legally they cannot do that. That's why they make you fill out paperwork. You have to sign stuff in order to be on one of those yards. You said they put you there because of your celebrity status. Well, I've known a number of different people that had just as much celebrity, if not more than you, bro, that they didn't go SNY. I remember when you first got to Selena's Valley and me and you became cellies, and we was talking about you was running down to me what had happened to you in New Folsom State Prison, right? And you saying when you first got there, they asked you, did you want to be on the main line or go PC? And you told them, put me where all the active Crips is at. I remember that conversation. You told me that. And that's what they did, right? But they gave you the decision to go or not, right? But if you would have chose, you would have had to sign. Legally, they have to make you sign that paper because you can go over there and end up unaliving somebody or getting unalived yourself. They've had that happen. So the lawsuits is going to be the number one thing that stand out to them on keeping you safe or other people safe from you. Legally, you have to sign on the dotted line. They're not just going to flip that yard and leave you there. Either you're going to sign and say that you can function there, or they're going to ship you out. But just because you're there and they flip, nah, that ain't how it work, bro. Come on. You probably can tell that to them people out there in society that don't know no better, that don't know this. But come on, bro. I can't allow that, bro. You feel me? Not when I've been dealing with that shit for 30 plus years straight, knee deep in it. On the main line, of course. You feel me? So yeah, and when I said that your career had went down and spiraled and all that and this and that, that's what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was basically trying to describe as far as, you making the conscious decision, as you said, to stay there. Your motivation, you said, because I've always wondered, like, wow. But you said your motivation was a cell phone and music equipment, and that you was in your backyard. So that's why you chose to stay on the S&Y yard. Although you said they didn't force you there. You was already there. And then you said that they different spots, like they built the S&Y around you. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know how many other celebrities? There's only one person that I heard that they built anything around, and that's Robert Downey Jr. That's how SADF even got built. They built that prison specifically for Robert Downey Jr. as a substance abuse program. That's what SADF means, Substance Abuse Treatment Facility. Corcoran, New Corcoran. You feel me? So, hey, man, whenever you chose to make that career move, to go that route, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me, bro. That was a decision that you made solely on your own as a man. You feel me? And the reason why I say your career went south after doing that is because I've always prided myself on being a key way that, once you make the conscious decision on living that lifestyle, you have to look yourself in the mirror every day and be all right with that. But you have to be all right with every aspect of your decision making once you choose to live that lifestyle. You can't dip your big toe in the water to test the temperature. No, man. When we get in this shit, we get in it, we dive in it. We dive in it. We backstroke in it. You feel me? Until it's time to get out that motherfucker, bro. You feel me? So whether they put you in the S&Y willfully or against your will, you said in your comment that you chose to stay. You feel me? And you made that decision as a man. Point blank, period. I'm not the only one that's in disagreement with that. But at the same token, that's your life, not mine. What you eat don't make me poop at all. You feel me? But you showing or trying to describe the situation as anything other, it's kind of like you plan on a nigga intelligence when he know better, especially when it comes to the 50-50 SMY PC shit. You feel me? The public might go for it, but that's something that's a pill I can't swallow, bro, when I know better. You know what I'm saying? As for, yeah. And again, I never denied that you had celebrity status. When you came to the yard, everybody knew who you was. Yeah, we was on the yard rapping and the big crowd came. Yeah, they did that because of you. Of course, you was an established underground rap artist, bro. Your case was high profile because of that. You feel me? So all the other things that you described about Monster Cody getting at you, you getting this letter from him, and they putting you on a certain status with this person and that person. Hey, man, more power to you, bro. You feel me? More power to you. You know what I mean? But those of us that's been doing this, you know what I'm saying? Unflawed when it comes to making the conscious decision to be in a place that you supposed to know ain't right or not. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one that feel like that. You know what I'm saying? You know how many of your homies I ran across that I know that I got a whole bunch of love and respect for? Like I said, I mentioned your big homie Shaka Low because he was a Loke. Period. I got love for the Gordon blocks. A lot of that shit stems from my experience with you. You feel me? But hey, just because you didn't keep it real with me, just because you didn't keep it real with the game and you chose to go a whole completely different route, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? It would never make me stop having that love and respect for the Gordon blocks, the young brothers and brothers that's coming up out that community, because they got some great people coming up out that community, bro. They really do. I have a ton of love and respect for the four and the non. Straight up. You feel me? And again, I want to remind y'all, man, how tight me and this dude X-Rated was. X-Rated. Let me remind you of an incident. You said you was in the cell with Big Country from 9A Main Street. You was. But you hated it. You hated it. You came to me every day talking about that situation, how bad me and you needed to hook up so we can get cracking on the music and all this and that. The only obstacle was Country, because Country was the one that was getting you the equipment to be able to record because of where he worked at, in which he was charging you an arm and a leg, you know what I'm saying, just to transport that motherfucker over to the cell overnight and send it back. He charged you thousands for that. You feel me? And again, let me make something else clear. I spoke about the homie Papa also from 9-8 Main Street. You know what I'm saying? Now, remember I told y'all the story about X-Rated wanting to start a group. You know what I'm saying? And I brought up Papa. So Papa was going to be the third person in that group with me and X-Rated. But what ended up happening is Country, X-Rated Selly, Country from 9-8 Main Street is telling Papa, charge him up. Charge him up. Don't sign nothing. Don't deal with him. Charge him up. So Papa made it clear off the top, like, look, this is what I want. And I remember me and you talking about it and tripping like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? And the whole time, this is coming from Country, the guy that you was in the cell with, that you was trying to get out that cell with so bad because he was an alcoholic, that he was a blackout alcoholic that used to get drunk so bad he'd throw up all over the cell and you had to clean it up. Remember that? Remember all that drink he used to make in the cell? And get drunk and get so drunk he'd throw up everywhere and you had to clean that shit up. Remember that, bro? Oh, let's not forget, before me and you became cellies, when you was in the cell with Big Country from 9-8, you know what I'm saying? That time I snuck in your cell so we can go in there and smoke and write. And I ended up getting caught in your cell. You know what I'm saying? And that became a big old thing. They snatched me up. They snatched you up. They went and tore your cell upside down as well as mine's. You feel me? And they was tripping. They was tripping like a motherfucking Country was out at the hospital. And when he got back and seen that all his stuff was messed up, you know what I'm saying? He was mad. He was extremely mad. You know what I mean? And then you wanted to get out that cell with him so bad after all that had took place. Remember, we paid the dude to get us that cell, and we moved in that cell the same day together. Country was gone. He didn't even know about the move. When he came back, you was in the cell with me. All your shit was gone. And he was what the, blew him out the water. He was hot. You remember that? Hey, I wasn't going to bring that up. You brought that up. You brought cuz up, not me. But that's facts. And you know what? You know, LJ is still around. You know, it's still people around, bro, that I can bring onto my show to verify, you know, everything that I'm speaking about. Everything. Excluding nothing. You feel me? Like I told you, you know, I fought with myself for years on even talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Because not just the disappointment of the failed, what I thought, brotherhood and relationship that me and you had. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's you know, you chose to make a career move that I'm not in agreement with. I'd never be cool with that. But hey, that's me, little old me. Who cares? You living your life. You out now. You free. Congratulations, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to keeping it real about the people that I've been around, like I told you, I'm not here to smut your name or smut you. You know what I'm saying? What's out there, the information about you going S and Y and all that, that shit is out there. I didn't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? The game put it out there. The game lords put it out there, my nigga, not me. I'm just one person that gave his testimony as to a time when me and you was together. You feel me? And your response to that was a trip, because out of all these years that have went by, you say you telling all these war stories about me, you know what I'm saying? And not one letter, not one nothing. Anything that you put on your hood and your dead homies, my nigga. Hey, you know what I mean? Again, bro, hey, you know, this gonna be my very last time talking about this situation, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool on it. I don't need to gain traction off your name or none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that with me. I'm a real one, and you know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I held back for years, for years, for years. And then I'm like, you know what? I done talked about all these other niggas that ended up going S and Y. Why not discuss this one? Because this one stood out more so, you know what I'm saying? Because of the connection that me and you had. Nigga, you was like a brother to me, nigga. Straight up, and I treated you like that. That's why we was together, nigga. The rap shit and all, yeah, okay. That's all fine and dandy, nigga. But come on, nigga, you know it. You know I treated you like a brother, nigga. You know it. So don't front, bro. Don't front. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I just want to give my response to this dude. You know what I'm saying? You know, I appreciate everybody, man, for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Taking the time out. You know what I'm saying? To you know, approach this round table with me, man, while we discuss these topics and these issues. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to give my testimony, you know what I'm saying, on a piece of history that I consider to be history. It was a very historical period of time. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? Alive to be able to tell y'all from my perspective. He can jump out there and he can give his perspective. You know what I'm saying? But I have a whole lot of people that's still around. you know what I'm saying, that I can actually bring on my show, you know what I'm saying, and attest to everything that I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? So hey, it is what it is, man. But I appreciate you all, man, for tapping into the Swang Low Podcast Show. Y'all stay safe out there, stay positive, stay loved, stay motivated. You know what I'm saying? Let the people in your life know that you love and care for them. You know what I'm saying? And always will be there for them. You know. On that note, I'm up out of here. Y'all stay safe. Have a blessed day. Triple game.